Wow, fantastic. And, I've been wondering what's wrong with me for just hearing about you guys only like a few weeks ago. I mean, not only is this new record incredible, and that is, again, called Suburban Mayhem, which just came out a few days ago here on Mint 400 Records, but the first album's great, too. And TJ, I mean, your back catalog, I found that playlist on Spotify, all the songs you've written. I mean, you're brilliant, and you guys are absolutely phenomenal. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight.
Oh man, thanks for saying that. That means a lot. It's awesome to be here, dude. Thanks to everyone here for having us in this wonderful little room.
And all the lovely folks in this room and in the control room who are making it happen. You guys are awesome.
Yes, thank you guys.
For sure. We can't not shout the crew out enough. So I guess we'll just take a quick moment. Tonight, the show's being brought to you by Tyler Ruvo. We have Kira Stack. We have Thomas Paisano, Eric Greenop, Patrick W. Huber, and of course myself. But also you guys. Thank you all for coming down here and making the trek from Albany. How was the ride in? Was it hard finding a little speck on the map that was once New York's second capital?
Spectacular. It was fine. We were good.
Yeah, it was very smooth.
Lovely ride.
Yeah.
Cool. You took in the sights. Really enjoyed like the beautiful highwayscapes that New York has to offer.
Taconic Parkway.
The fantastic, the Taconic, right?
Oh, you did take the Taconic.
Yeah, we had a little 115, a little 83, a little Taconic,
Gotcha.
75 potholes. It was fine.
I love the Taconic. It's like you want to be a New York driver. There's two things you got to do. You got to take the Taconic and drive down to New York City. I mean, and then if you can pass both of those tests, I think you're pretty much in.
You're into the secret club that is New York residential status. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, speaking of residential status, I think you guys are hopefully going to, and I think you will, especially with that first performance, carve out residential status in the iconography of our band show. Because what a way to start it off! My Rusted Armor, my personal favorite song off the new record. But talk to me about it, guys. It's album release weekend. We're so thrilled to have you here in the studio. I mean, Suburban Mayhem. You guys must be stoked.
Yeah, it's been wild, man. We wrote the first song of this record back in like September of 2020, actually. So it's been kind of a long time coming. We wrote a lot of songs, we whittled it down, and what you're hearing today is really the final iteration of that. But yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, went into this. And it's been wild to finally get it out there, have people hear it, and play these songs live. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, when we were speaking pre-show, we had a rare moment of calm before the storm, and you told me you recorded it yourselves, and I thought that was, I mean, I couldn't believe it. It sounds so good, and I mean, dabbling in the engineering world myself, I mean, I hope one day to be able to put out something that's just that polished. Like, what was that process like? I mean, this truly is your baby from start to finish, huh?
Yeah. It's I've been doing it. I've been doing recording for quite a while, and I always just find it's better on my mental status if I'm kind of working at my own pace, as opposed to you book a studio for 5 to 7 days and you're kind of on the clock. Like you have to get something done by X time, otherwise you don't finish the thing, right? Whereas if I'm recording out of my house, if my voice isn't feeling right that day, I can just say, okay, I'm going to sleep on it and do it another day. And that's kind of just, it helps kind of get out of that, perfectionist mindset a little bit, which we all suffer from. But yeah, it was great. I mean, I every time I do a record, I like to kind of try and push myself to another level of what I'm capable of doing. So I try and learn something. I try and acquire new equipment, things like that. And with this record, there was a lot of that. We set up Chad helped build some like baffling walls that we put up in our garage, my garage, around the drum kit to kind of isolate things a little bit. That was wild. Everything else was kind of done in my basement. So, yeah.
It gave us the leg room to kind of really flesh the tunes out.
Yeah.
It was like the jet blue of recording processes.
More leg room.
Yeah.
But no, we were able to really take the time and make these songs the best version of what they could be. And I think that's the result that we got on them.
So what is the creative process? You said that the first songs were written in 2020. How do you guys all put your stamp on this amazing album we call Suburban Mayhem?
So TJ pretty much sent us all 15 or 20 voice memo songs that were just like acoustic in structure. And then we just spent the better part of most of the pandemic working on them at our own pace. And that's where we are. Very
cool. So what is the songwriting process? It's TJ comes up with the, obviously the skelly,
Yeah.
right? And then
Yeah.
do you guys all get together? Do you jam it out first? Do you just go right to the DAW? I mean, talk to me about that.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of we all kind of know our sort of strengths as musicians, and I've said this a few times recently, where my strength in the process really comes at the very beginning and the very end. I feel like I can write songs pretty easily, and then it's all that middle part of fleshing them out and making them sound the way they should or they're meant to, and that's kind of where these guys came in, and they fleshed them out fantastically, and it just kind of took them to a whole nother level. But that's typically how I work. I'd like to say we all got in a room and jammed all these together, but between everything we have going on in our adult lives, it's not easy finding enough pockets of time to do that. So we all put in the work on our own, and we did a little bit of jamming in the room, but it was a lot of everyone kind of drilled the songs, they wrote the parts on their own time, and when we came together in the studio, we kind of just workshopped them on the fly, and so there's a little bit of that kind of spontaneous element to it as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of cool because somebody would come up with a part and you wouldn't hear it necessarily until like maybe a week later you'd come down and all of a sudden there'd be a new guitar track and that would kind of inspire you to do something else, and it was interesting. It was definitely different than the way I know I was used to like doing recording, and it really did give us some room to breathe and let the record kind of like just be what it needs to be. We took the time on it.
Very cool. And, you talked about adult life a few seconds ago, TJ, and I feel like one of the big themes of this album, at least my listens through, has been sort of kind of coping with fleeting youth and learning to accept that. Am I right there? Am I wrong there? Can you talk to me sort of about like the approach thematically behind the record?
I'm gonna throw this one to Matt because he always has a really good answer for this kind of thing.
Okay.
He's laughing.
I'm not queued up, man. No, I mean there's kind of two minds of it, right? It's looking back and reflecting on the innocence of youth and what was mayhem when we were growing up, when we were little kids, toilet paper on a tree or what have you, and it kind of lays the dichotomy of that versus what is mayhem now and kind of the crazy world that we live in. We're all parents and we're navigating the mayhem of this real world right now and trying to figure out what that stasis looks like for our kids in the current state of life.
I hear that. And do the kids look at you guys as rock stars?
My son said to me one day, he came home from school and he's like, "Dad, no one knows who E.R.I.E is. I don't understand this. You guys are on the radio. Why don't they know you?" And I'm like, "Buddy, it's okay. It's okay."
Tell Archer to tell his friends.
Yeah. That's the plan.
We're gonna be really big in like the kindergarten, first grade circuit. It's gonna be awesome. We're gonna start playing gymnasiums.
I definitely pick up vibes, though, of like, just where it seems you guys are at in your lives throughout the entirety of the record. One line I specifically love is the just having, and I think it does take a little life experience to sort of look back on, like, that song, the line where it's like he bought crypto and they opened a dispensary. I mean, the trajectory there is so accurate, and I think that only, and there's so many, I mean, that's like more of one of the funny, more jovial examples, but there's so many, like, seriously accurate sort of portrayals of progressing as like a young punk to like an older punk, at least I consider myself a punk still, even though,
Punk's not dead, dude. It's not dead.
That's it's funny. There's a line in a song called "Don't Wait for the Sun" that kind of references that, where like we're all still kind of like punks on the inside, but yeah, if I tried to hop on a skateboard right now, I'd fucking break my knee. You know what I mean?
Terrifying, man. Yeah.
It's just I can't. That's just where we are, right? But like,
there's insurance implications of that now.
The spirit is still there,
But let me ask you guys this, though. I mean, I was speaking with Chad earlier, and we both started playing music at 11 years old, and I'm sure you guys have all been playing for a long time, too. And before we jump into more music, I feel like it's special to be jamming later on in life with people, like you're in it if you're in it at this point. Yeah. Right? I mean, you guys are so tight, and it seems like you make time for the music, and I think it shows, So while I do miss those young days of, oh man, did we get enough practices in? Either way, we rented the van and we're going on tour. Yeah. I do like the structure and the dedication to the craft. I like how that sort of increases as time goes on. I don't know if you guys could agree with me on that one or not.
Time gives you the lens to appreciate some of those aspects of the thing you do. It's not just a CGA power chord combo.
Right.
It's okay. Let's really make sure we're doing this right.
Yeah, and if we're doing it because we want to. You know what I mean? It's like
the time allocation is so much more significant that you can't mess around now.
Exactly. And shout out to the wives and the families in our lives who let us do things like this, be gone for an entire Saturday while they're handling the kids
and
stuff
most
like
of
that.
Sunday tomorrow.
Yeah.
For sure.
And last night.
We just appreciate you guys making time for us on your release show weekend. I mean, we are very honored, and we've all been so stoked about having you guys in here. And so with that said, though, we're also stoked about the chat tonight. I mean, we have a ton of people watching right now, and we have Tigers in the chat. We have Steven Manners, Slip Groove, who will be next month's band, is already hanging out and supporting. We love that. Thank you guys for supporting your local music community. That means a lot to us. And we have JIL 321 saying, "It sounds amazing, guys. Glad to be here." We're glad you're here. Thank you.
We are
And for you guys who are here, we have one request, and sorry, but we want to continue to bring you guys amazing local bands. So indulge us when I ask you to please like, comment, subscribe, and share this stream with a friend. It would really help us grow this show and bring you great, hardworking artists like E.R.I.E., like Slip Groove next month. I mean, we are booked out from now till the end of the year. We will be doing this once a month, and it's all because of you guys in the chat supporting Dropping Tigers and just helping us grow this respectful but very powerful local music community. So thank you. Thank you all for being here. And of course, we'd be nowhere without the amazing bands that come on. So please follow E.R.I.E. Guys, where can they find you and keep up to date with you on socials?
It's at a band called E.R.I.E. on everything.
Great.
Even TikTok, which we are accepting applications for a
social media specialist.
TikTok manager.
Seriously,
100%.
we would love a social media manager.
We will pay you an exposure bucks.
Exposure bucks. It's the going rate.
Anna Marie Lisinski says she's looking forward to seeing you live, and while she might be watching from the comfort of her home or whatnot, we can at least bring you a live version of some music. So, fellas, are you ready to jump into another song here, another batch of songs?
If we say no, is that weird?
Wish you could go home.
I can improv all day, but really, I want them to hear the amazing tunes you have planned for us.
We are ready, man.
You're too kind.
Amazing. Take it away, gentlemen. The next song here we have is Can't Stop Running, and it is another one of my personal favorites.